going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Nobody's Favorite Podcast. I'm here with VibeLord Zeez.
Here.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm here with the man, the myth, the legend, Jarad Wright, head of the Music Collective. Give him a round of applause. Yes.
Blessings. Love y'all.
Oh, and we're also here with my main man, Blue, the dog. Yeah? Nobody's favorite mascot, apparently. Alright, so today we're gonna talk about a few things. We got a few things on going on in the world. We got a few things going on in our lives, right? So let's talk about the big thing that everybody's talking about right now. You know, Kanye West. Oh yeah, he doesn't like. He's not known as Kanye West anymore.
I was about to say, put some respect on his name.
Let's get that man some respect. You know, let's get that man some real respect. But yeah, let's talk about him, right? So we all see what's going on. Majority of us see what's going on. You know, not sure if you guys have heard. You know what's going on, VibeLord?
Yeah, man, I watched that podcast. I watched it.
Okay, good. Okay, how about you, Jared? You know what's going on?
Y'all gonna have to catch me up on some things because I'm it's hard for me to keep up with all the stuff that Ye is doing.
Yes, because Ye is doing so many freaking things. Alright, so most recently Ye was on Drink Champs and a few other interview platforms and such, pretty much talking about a plethora of things as Ye does. And one of the big things that is in the spotlight now is his comments on George Floyd.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if you don't know, what he said pretty much in a nutshell was that, you know, George Floyd wasn't killed by the police officer Derek Chauvin, I believe his name was. He OD'd on fentanyl, and when they did the autopsy, they showed up in his blood reports and all these different things, and he pretty much credited this fact to Candace Owens' documentary, which has a lot of people in uproar, man. You know, he fact-checked Candace Owens with that, so that was kind of wild. And it has a lot of people worried about his mental health, as always, worried about what's going on with him, trying to cancel him. He's been kicked off of several social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, pretty much to the point now where he's thinking about buying Parler, pretty much made an agreement with them already. It's been reported. He's going to buy Parler and pretty much have his own voice, and he can't ever be censored again, which will also limit his audience, though. You know, not many people have Parler, not many people really know what that is. But yeah, what do you guys think about?
Yo, so I was waiting for you to ask me. I was waiting for the question to come on, bro. So, like, during that whole interview, bro, I watched the whole 3 hours and 35 minutes of that interview. Bro.
Okay.
Like, and for me, like I was agreeing with. Like, it's like he was saying shit that. We curse, right?
Yeah, you can say whatever you, bro. This is nobody cares. Nobody's favorite podcast, baby.
So he was saying shit that I was agreeing with, like talking about how, like, basically, like, the Jewish community runs, not the community, I don't want to say community as a whole, but like how the Jewish people run the media world, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like how they kind of been like censoring him on a whole bunch of things, you know what I'm saying? Like, so with that, like, I agree with him with that. But then when he said the George Floyd thing, I'm like, now come on, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like come on, yeah. Like, I know that, like, even like DGFN called him out on the like, with him not being able to articulate himself very well. Like, when he did that, I'm like, okay, like, it's at least somebody there that's telling him that, you know, there's a way that you can word things and say certain things. But I don't think that there's a way that you can word saying that, oh, that cop didn't have his knee on his neck. He had it. He did some bull. He definitely did some bullshit with that line.
Yeah, absolutely.
My first, so that's my first time hearing about. I know he's getting sued for $250 million. I didn't know why. Right, by George Floyd family. And rest in peace to George Floyd. But I think the first part is, like, the insensitivity of you even speaking about a dead man in the public and you not having a relationship with his family. I think that's the first part that really needs to be addressed. Like, Kanye, like, could you imagine if somebody got on and said something about Donda?
Right.
Like the insensitivity, the lack of maturity, the lack of empathy, the disrespect. That's why it's really difficult for me to listen to anything that man says, because he's lacking those things. First off, I have no respect for Kanye West. If you can't have the decency to not have a filter, to not discuss privately, you're discussing these things publicly, knowing who you are, about somebody who just passed away like 2 years ago. That's the first.
It wasn't even just the aspect of him passing away. It was the impact of that. Right. You know what I mean? Like everything that came with that. Like, and he spoke on it the way that he spoke on it. It's like, nah, bro, you dropped the ball with this one.
So that's the first thing. The second thing I would ask Kanye is, if you don't feel like that's what caused him to die, would you allow me to lean on your neck for 8 minutes with my knee, and let's see how long you last. As a second-degree black belt in martial arts, it takes 7 seconds for a proper choke to be applied for a person to lose consciousness.
And I was going to ask you about that. Not to cut you off, I was going to ask you, being a martial artist, Kanye alleges or claims that the knee wasn't on the neck. He says, you see the video, the knee's not on the neck. I mean, I feel like I've seen the video. I feel like I saw the knee on the neck. I feel like you can see pressure being applied based on the way just his face is. It's being pushed in, you know, the way his neck is and everything. You can see the pressure. So I feel like that was very, very, very off, you know. And I wanted to ask you about that. Like, you know, if say as we all saw, the knee was on the neck, how quickly could that have incapacitated George Floyd?
I mean, it depends on exactly where the pressure was being applied, but for it to go in 7 seconds, right? But let's put it this way: the average adult attention span is 15 seconds. Imagine just being silent for 15 seconds. Now multiply that by like 2,000%, and that's how long that man sat on his neck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, even if so, it's 7 seconds to lose consciousness in the perfect spot. That times 10 is a minute. So 7 seconds times 800, not being in the perfect spot, I could definitely see somebody.
You know what? I can't believe, and I'm sorry to cut both of y'all off. You know what? I really can't believe, bro. I can't believe that it's been 2 years and we still have to even fucking explain to people, like he brought back something that it's like we have to iterate, if I'm using the right words. Like, we have to re-explain the situation of what happened to George Floyd for something that they had already figured out. You know what I mean? It was a wrongful murder is what it was. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's so crazy that like now we have to re-discuss this and re-talk about like what happened to George Floyd. You know what I mean? Like, nobody's really thinking about like his family, like all of these things kind of like just being like brought back into the spotlight again, and they're still mourning. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like.
Yeah, and people don't realize like the impact that a lot of things will have. Like, you know, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, not a neurosurgeon, neurologist, anything like that. But from things that I've seen, things that I've read, it only takes a couple of minutes for, even if you don't die, for a lack of oxygen to the brain to just shut your entire brain down. You know, you turn into a vegetable. Right. So who's to say if he did not pass away during that instance, he wouldn't have had permanent damage done for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just a horrible situation overall. Like the VibeLord said, you shouldn't have brought that back up. You know, why are we still discussing this? I mean, I can tell you why we're still discussing this. The climate of America is why we're still discussing this.
Yeah, no, I get that. Know, I'm talking about Kanye. Like,
absolutely.
Like,
absolutely. Like, you know, when he goes to the
bringing this back up.
But then, you know, it ties into the thing. He's been hanging out with Candace Owens. You know, she talks about this a lot. She's at his fashion shows or his runway shows. She's at his she's at his fashion shows. He's at her book signings or whatever it was that she was at. They're going hand in hand now. This is his new running mate. You know what I mean? It's been every few months, Kanye has a new person that he's kind of hanging out with, right? And that's who he goes. He was with AB. You know what I mean? He's hanging out with Justin LeBoy. He's hanging out with Candace Owens. Every few months, he's seen with somebody. You know, so this is the new person in the saga of Kanye, the new character that we're introduced to in his life.
And I'm surprised, real talk, bro. I'm surprised that he even. Well, I'm not surprised because of the whole Trump thing, but I am surprised that like he even like the Kanye that we knew would never be hanging out with Candace Owens, bro.
But this is the thing. So I can agree, but I will have to agree and disagree at the same time because there's a song Kanye has called Ye versus the People, right? And it's him and T.I. on the song. And it's like they're going back and forth. It's like kind of like a prosecution type thing, right? And T.I. is speaking from the point of the people, you know, why are you doing this, Kanye? You seem like a sellout, you know, everything around those lines. And Kanye's pretty much telling his point of view, you know, talking about, oh, you know, I wore the MAGA hat to show people that we are equal. So some people don't know. Some people are like, why are you wearing that? That's racist. He's like, no, like we can all be together. You know what I mean? It's not a racial thing, That's his perspective versus the people's perspective, right? So when Kanye says these outlandish things and when Kanye does these outlandish things, I see both sides. So I try to see both perspectives and I can't help but see it. It's like the man just, for some reason, cannot articulate himself properly, right? The man just cannot articulate himself properly. He knows, if you try to, the problem is you have to try to dissect what Kanye says.
Yeah.
When Kanye says something, you have to take it at surface value and you have to try to dissect what he's saying. So when he says things like, slavery was a choice, right? People are like, what the fuck are you talking about, Kanye? Motherfuckers was dying, they were being raped, they were being killed. In Kanye's mind, he's saying, well, Harriet Tubman left, didn't she? That means she had a choice. Though it was a rough choice, she chose to say, fuck it, I'm gonna risk my life for my freedom.
She chose to fight back.
She chose to fight back.
Nat Turner chose to fight back.
Kanye West, unfortunately, this is what I think he's alluding to. I don't have a fucking relationship with Kanye, but this is what I think he's alluding to. Kanye West is saying that was the choice. People chose to either stay or people chose to fight back and go. Was it a good choice? Was it like a fucking choice where people are like, hey, you know, it's like happiness on either side? No, it's like, what's the lesser of the evils? You know what I mean? Am I gonna run and fucking possibly die, or am I gonna stay here and guaranteed to die eventually? You know what I mean? So that's what I assume he was going with that. The man just does not know how to articulate himself, which fucks up and skews our interpretation of what the nigga's trying to fucking
I'm trying to figure
say.
out what the fuck he was trying to interpret with the George Floyd thing, because
that was just something
that
I don't think that was just Kanye fucking up.
That was straight to the point.
That was Kanye fucking up.
I think my issue with it all, I mean, even speaking to what VibeLord initially spoke to, which was the Jewish media controlling or limiting or marginalizing Kanye's voice specifically. Like, Kanye is pretty much saying that
I can go deeper down that rabbit hole. They don't want to do it to Kanye.
The people's voice, like, y'all shut up. Like y'all interpretation of what happened is so incorrect. And I'm gonna tell y'all what happened. Similar to like all the people who made the choice to not be slaves and died.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like we're not talking about those people, Kanye. You're narrowing your conversation into a silo of just Harriet Tubman. And when you have that perspective of needlepoint conversations about a general topic, about something that affected generations of a culture,
Mm-hmm.
and with seemingly lack of empathy and understanding, that a lot of people, not like they were just like, oh yeah, I guess we're just slaves here. I guess this is what we're doing now. Like, no, people had their hands cut off.
Yes.
People had their legs cut off.
Do y'all also feel though that like once you get to a certain caliber, in finances, right? Do you think that people become like out of tune with certain things? Do you think that could play a part in like The way he's acting, the way that he's acting, he got too much money.
Yes and no. I'm not gonna shoot him that bail because I know somebody who's not as rich but close that can speak to that stuff. And a Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Jay-Z is not out here speaking things like Jay-Z is like we took your scraps and made soul food. Like he's speaking to the struggle of black people and the magic that we were able to create through the struggle. Kanye, in a way, is diminishing the fact that we are struggling with why, like we don't have to struggle at all, right? But then at the same time, complaining about Jewish people controlling the media. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yo, you're upset because slavery was a choice, and black people could have done something. Mm-hmm. But you're also upset because Jewish people are controlling the media and you feel like there's nothing you can do and you have billions of dollars at your disposal. Mm-hmm. Like, that's crazy to me.
So to take into account what you just said, right? Jay-Z, Kanye West. Beautiful fucking comparison you just made. Because Jay-Z, and I love the fucking, the example you gave, right? Took the scraps and turned it into soul food, right? He said that in the song, right?
Yeah, he said, and it played in interviews. Like,
and it plays in interviews, right?
Yep.
That is articulated perfectly of what Kanye tried to convey. Jay-Z is saying, they tried to shit on us. And we took that and we chose to make the best of it. We chose to take the scrap that they gave us, we cooked that shit up. You know what I mean? And we made the best of it. And now look at us. Now they sitting next to us because they couldn't keep us down. Right. You know what I mean? So Jay-Z is articulating much better the same point Kanye was trying to convey in the fact that, yes, in a certain way, it was a choice. In that aspect, like, hey, you could have run. Fuck that. Look, I don't want to run. You know what I mean? I just saw my brother get killed. I just saw my cousin. She tried to run and got raped. You know what I mean? That's fucking horrible. I don't want none of that bad shit to happen to me or my children. So they chose to not do it. You know what I mean? They chose to take the scraps. I mean, Jay-Z is not talking about those.
It's kind of like
saying in my opinion.
But I think that the difference for me is this. I think that the difference for me is one person is alluding to minimizing what was happening, mm-hmm. and the other person is talking about, we're not even worried about what's happening. We're worried about how black people continue to overcome.
Exactly.
So one person is talking about the overcoming. The other person is saying that pretty much like we never overcame. Like we're like, oh, this was a choice for y'all to sit here. Mm-hmm. Like, no, it wasn't a choice for us to sit here. It wasn't a choice for us to be put on a boat and taken to a new land and having to be forced to, like that, like none of that stuff was a choice. Now, but the fact that you even would say that, and we're no longer there, mm-hmm. once again, for the fact that you would bring up George Floyd, and we're no longer there, you like the mess of it all, Kanye, mm-hmm. and that's my problem with him. We've already had that stuff documented. People have already been put in jail for it. Facts have already been provided. We have already gone through slavery, overcome it. But for some reason, you want to sit in the turmoil of us either being in it too long or us not speaking facts about what it took to overcome it. Mm-hmm. And that's my, like, so it's a actual foundational different perspective on, let's talk about the beauty of being black and what it takes versus let's talk about the problems in which we could be doing things better in because we're sitting in slavery for 399 more years than we should have been. Like, what are you talking about? And then at the same time, turning around and saying, Sway, you ain't got the answers because I can't get Ralph Lauren to make my clothes. What? Like, what do you, like, and you have millions of dollars and access to any resource that if you put the next, I don't know, 100 people together, average American, we still don't have the amount of resources that Kanye has.
This is true. This is true. This is absolutely true. And what's really interesting about it is, like I said a minute ago, the interpretation, right? So, do we know that Ye was trying to minimize these things? I don't. Like I said, I don't know. I don't think he knows how to articulate. I don't think he knows how to convey his point. I don't think he knows how to speak it very well, which is very odd, seeing as the field he's in. He's a fucking rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying that's what he is. He's a designer. He's a fucking artist. He's a, philanthropist. He's a lot of things. You know what I mean? But, he raps and he does it very well. And to do it very well, he has to convey points very well.
The thing is, though, even with him being a writer, like, he can write how he feels perfectly. But like, I feel like me personally, not to compare myself to Kanye or nothing like that, but I feel like I also have that same issue when it comes to articulation. Like, I can write exactly how I feel down on paper. I can write exactly how I feel in my notes on the phone, however I need to get my music out. Like, but when it comes to talking, to speaking, to actually talking to people, like, I don't really articulate myself that well.
Okay.
So like, he knows how to. He knows what it's like. He knows what he wants to say. Just his brain is like, it's like his mouth is moving faster than his brain.
Ooh, pardon me, this gas is chopping. Yeah, we do that too on this podcast, man. We smoke a little weed and shit, so medicinal, man.
You gotta get right before you get left.
That's a fact. But yeah, man. It's very hard to distinguish what Kanye means. But today, well, maybe it might have been last night. Today or last night sometime, Kanye released a video. A little quick video before he jumped on the plane. Pretty much discussing or acknowledging Nori's apology to the podcast episode on Hot 97.
I think Nori did what he had to do.
Nori did what he had to do, but Kanye made reference to what Nori had to do. And like he said, Kanye was saying that the Jewish people run media and entertainment, and they're pretty much all the ones that cut the checks, and they're the gatekeepers. And when Kanye said that, his interviews started getting taken down. And LeBron James, they recorded an interview with him. They decided not to air it. YouTube's taking down the Drink Champs episodes. Revolt's taking down Drink Champs episodes. So it's like, I don't know who controls these things, but somehow when Kanye says something like this, these things are coming down. And then the interview you see, appreciate you, man. And then the interview you see with Nori when he apologizes, and this is Kanye's points of view, not mine. This is what he references. He looks at the caption and says, Nori apologizes in an interview with Rosenberg. I mean, I'm not saying I like Peter Rosenberg. I think he's a dope. He fucks with wrestling just like I fuck with wrestling heavy. You know what I mean? But Kanye was making the point that, like, he said Jews run the media. Who was the first interview with Nori that apologized? A Jewish journalist. So Kanye is trying to, I don't know if he's, just connecting dots that aren't there, but he's somehow correlating these things to make him not look as crazy as people want him to look or think he looks.
Yeah, I mean, not for nothing, like, Jewish media is not really doing nothing but proving him right also. Like, wasn't he on CNN recently too? Like, who's that ran by? You know what I mean? Like, don't get me, I have nothing against the Jewish community at all. You know what I mean? But like, I love everybody.
No one here does.
But they just proving him right.
I guess like, once again, so you're speaking to somebody who is way out of context in this. Like, what? Like, everybody runs something. So what difference does it make that Jewish people run media?
And that alludes to a point that I want something I want to segue into. Privilege. Everybody runs something. Even if the Jewish community did, like, they were gatekeepers and they were the ones who ran media, okay, understandable. But when there's other things that there's also black privilege. Okay, there might be Jewish privilege, but there's also black privilege. You know what I mean? when a white rapper is trying to make it in the game, he gets a lot of slack. Black people are like, yo, bro, get out of here, you culture appropriator. You know, unless he has someone co-signing him, it's really hard for a white guy to get into the game. You know what I mean? Even with playing basketball, look at Luka Doncic. He's a great ball player. He's one of the best ball players we've seen in our generation. But what do people always refer to him? That white boy. That white boy. Why can't he just be great? You know? Because basketball is a black-dominated sport. Who's the greatest? Who's referenced as the greatest of all time? LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Allen Iverson, Will Chamberlain. You know, these players. Larry Bird is up there, but he's one of the many.
You can even talk about the NFL with that.
Right. I mean, you got Pistol Pete.
I recently, which I'm sorry to cut you off, but I recently, like was just like we played with Madden and shit. We've been watching a lot of football. You know, my son played football and shit like that. So, like I hear people constantly saying like when I see somebody white in the NFL do something like Christian McCaffrey or somebody else, like they be like, oh, how y'all letting that white boy do that to y'all? Oh, this white boy is doing this?
And that's because there's a certain level of black privilege in certain sports. You know, like there's certain level of white privilege in certain sports, like golf. Everybody talks about the black golf player, Tiger Woods. It's wild.
That's not even cultural. That's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's pretty privilege.
Oh, absolutely. There's all types of privilege.
There's athletic.
There's all types of privilege.
There's
name privilege.
But for me, it's like it's rapper privilege, right? Like the fact that I can associate with rappers is going to give me more access than me trying to rap and getting good at that, whatever be, because I'm just not gifted at rapping, right? So it's like the fact that I could come into your house right now and you have a longer relationship with VibeLord, he's going to have access to do things. He's going to be privileged to do maybe certain things in your house that I can't do. Or he's going to know that he can do certain things in your house that I just don't know that I can do yet. So it's like, I'm gonna feel like, oh yeah, now he's privileged. He's privileged to just walk into Justo's house and just use his bathroom. I gotta go in there and be like, yo, can I use your bathroom? You know what I mean? Like,
so I mean, you know, you can do whatever you want, but I get your point. I definitely get what your point is.
But because we have a relationship, the relationship with black people in the NFL is we've been running the NFL for so long that when you see a Cooper Kupp, right? Even though he has better yardage than an Odell Beckham in the Super Bowl, when we're talking about the Super Bowl, who are we talking about? We're talking about Odell Beckham Jr. because he has a better relationship with the NFL than Cooper Kupp does.
And you know what's wild is that even though, and there's certain levels of privilege. Because even though you can move all that if you need to, bro. Even though the NFL has and anywhere, right? Even though they have a certain levels of privilege, like black people have certain levels of privilege, Hispanics have certain levels of privilege in certain things. You have higher levels of privilege, right? Because you have them like, oh, look at that white boy Cooper Kupp. Oh, he's good. Look at that white boy Christian McCaffrey. He's good. But that's just players. Now let's go to coaches and front office. Now it's like, oh, look at Mike Tomlin. He's good. Look at Lovie Smith. He's good. Because you don't get many black head coaches. You know what I mean? The guys who run the team, you got the players. You got black privilege. The players, they're black. But the coaches, the front office, they're not usually black. So it's different levels of the privilege there.
You're 10,000% correct. I agree with that. I think that's a fundamental issue that I have with the NFL, because I don't feel like they're making headwind in that regard.
They're nowhere near the NBA in progression.
The NBA to me is
run by the players.
It looks, but it looks like the United. It looks like the world. Like the NBA.
Who owns CBS?
The good thing about the NBA is that.
But who owns all of this though?
The teams. It's player.
I know that is, but like who runs like the?
I don't know I don't know who the board of the NBA is.
Or the board of the board of the NBA, the board of the NFL.
I don't know who the board is. I know they have commissioners like Goodell and shit like that. Adam Silver, shit like that. But the NBA made such a good players association like Chris Paul, LeBron James.
That's exactly what I was getting ready to get into.
They have such a strong players association. The NFL doesn't compare to it. That's why the NFL is just, the players are still, they're getting a lot of money. Don't get me wrong, they're getting a lot of money. They're also getting a lot of fines. There's a lot of things they can't do. It's a lot of protocols. It's a lot of conflict in the NFL, a lot more than in the NBA. You know, so the level of privilege, it's different. It differs. You know what I mean?
But you also have a different audience in between the two sports. Mm-hmm. So you have to cater to the audience in which the sport is watching. So I mean, we can talk about whoever controls whatever, but if somebody's doing something and the audience dips a week, like you're a wrestling fan. So Triple H was on a podcast recently, and he was talking about how USA told Vince McMahon that if the Generation X can't say these words at this time anymore, and da-da-da-da-da, if you guys do this, I'll be taking you guys off air, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Like, and then DX made like a little skit
out of it. They made a whole segment of it, yeah.
Right. But that's like real stuff that they had to overcome. And if USA was negatively impacted by the Generation X's actions between the 8 to 9 o'clock slot or 9 to 10 o'clock slot, we perhaps may not know who the Generation X is.
I wouldn't have been at the 25th anniversary of DX at the Barclays Center the other Monday. You know what I'm saying? For Raw. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have been able to go.
So the USA Network has to respond to the viewership of the people. Because at the end of the day, what really controls everything? Money.
Yep.
It is true.
Every decision that a business makes, or 90% of the decisions that a business makes, is how the money is going to be affected or impacted by it.
Especially if they have shareholders. Got to keep the shareholders happy.
So, you know, if you're talking about USA, you're talking about any media outlet, you're talking about anything. Fox News is going to say certain things that CNN would never say because CNN's audience is different. Fox News audience is different.
I can see how they would say Kanye's. I can see how they would say Kanye's. Like the interview would be hate speech. Oh yeah,
I can see it too. And that's what I'm saying. He doesn't know how to articulate because he's not trying to be hateful. He's just trying to tell what he has seen and what he's experienced. You know what I mean? He's not speaking from like our point of view, like, oh hey, that industry is this, that industry is that. Nigga, you ever been in that industry? No, but you know, I just know things. Nah, we ain't saying that. This is him. You know what I mean? He's in there. Being like he's gone through the rigmarole. We saw the Kanye documentary on Netflix 3-part series where he was trying so hard to do and people were just, even black people just shitting on him left and right. You know what I'm saying? He's been through it. So I feel like we shouldn't take what he says with a grain of salt. It should have some merit. You know what I mean? But he just needs to learn how to convey his fucking perspective better. He's too grown and too mature to sound so childish. You know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah, like if he was 25 years old, we wouldn't even be having this conversation.
Yeah.
The fact that this man is like 50, like, bro, if I have an issue with something, with managing something in my own will, let's say it's just money, right? I'm married. It's money. Money comes in. As soon as I get money, I spend it. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna say, hey, babe, here's my debit cards. Here's my credit cards. Don't allow me to spend any more money because you know I'm going to mess this up.
Bro,
Kanye West has to set up something in his life to be like, when a conversation goes into a place that's not on script for me, we have to end the conversation because damage control is going to be $250 million.
Problem with that is, what I believe the problem with that is Kanye has, let me not speculate. What I believe Kanye may have, in addition to, like, you know, he says he's bipolar and such, is delusions of grandeur. He believes he is this fucking alpha omnipotent fucking force that everything he says is golden or he knows. You know, he's only saying it because it's placed in his mind by God to tell us. That's a fucking mental disability. You know what I'm saying? That's a mental fucking illness. You know what I mean? And I believe he may have that because he doesn't have a stylist because he thinks he is style. He is fashion. You know what I mean? He doesn't have a publicist or a social media manager because he feels like there's no reason to censor him because everything he's saying is the truth. You know, he doesn't feel like he needs these things. That's why he doesn't have these things. And when you feel like you don't need certain shit, that means you feel like you're above everything.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna just say this in regards to Kanye West. There's been a lot of people that Kanye West has interacted with that love Kanye West dearly that don't interact with Kanye West anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean that they don't love him. There's some level of disconnect that's in that man's life that's like impacting, like Jay-Z was rocking with Ty and Ty spent 10 years in jail. Like, if Jay-Z kind of take his hands off, it might be some other stuff going on. You know what I mean? Like if Cudi, people like Chance is concerned,
so
there's like.
But Kanye speaks on those things too, and he gives example as to how those people strayed from him in certain situations, which at the same time, I try to look at it from both perspectives. I do my best not to like objectify, and I look at it like, you know, when he was running for president, as outlandish as some of us may have thought it was, people did go against him in interviews and certain shit, like, oh, I don't know why he's doing it, but he's saying behind closed doors they're encouraging him. So if that is the fact, I would be fucking pissed off too. If you guys are telling me right now, like, yo, bro, do that shit, and then y'all go do an interview later and you're like, I don't know why this guy, like, he's bugging out, I'm gonna be pissed the fuck off too. If that is what is happening.
Yeah, but I would rock with that if people weren't leaving him.
But people are only leaving him after he says something about them. He says something about Cudi, and then Cudi's like, I'm not doing no more music with this thing. He says something about this guy, and they're like, oh, we're not fucking with him no more. Like, people only stop fucking with him after he makes a fuss. Like, he only gets interviews dropped after. LeBron and them knew Kanye's been on a tirade as of late, right? Kanye's been going left and right, interview to interview, saying the same thing.
Right.
LeBron's production company knew if we get Kanye, he's probably gonna say the same shit. Drink Champs knew if we get Kanye, he's more than likely gonna say the same shit. Yeah. Nothing has changed in the past week. What else has he had to talk about, right? So if you're gonna give him the platform to do it, and then be mad about it, it's like exactly what I'm saying. They're encouraging. They're like, here, say what you're gonna say. Say what you're gonna say. And then they're like, oh shit, it got a little backlash. Nah, Kanye, we can't air that. What the fuck, bro? Well, why the fuck did you tell me I could come on here then? If you didn't get this shit clear, if everybody knows what I've been saying in every interview for the past months, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? Why wasn't this clear before I came? I flew out here, spent hours of my time, did this shit, spent money. Why did I do all of this if you motherfuckers was just gonna backtrack when it got a little slack? Did you not know it was gonna get some slack? Has everything else I've been doing not been getting slack? Did you think that this was gonna be fucking different? You know what I'm saying? I see that perspective. You know what I mean? But I also see their perspective. Oh shit, the networks, bro, we're gonna get canceled. We have to take you off. You know what I'm saying? If we don't, there is no more show. I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So I get it from both views. I'm not saying anybody's wrong.
I don't even think some of it is even that. It's like, yo, it speaks back to, like, to me, like false prophet. Like we hold you up so high that we still have this tangible person that we want to see at the interview. Mm-hmm. And you keep showing up as this person that's not him.
But do you think it's because of nostalgia? Because I don't think Kanye's really any different than, all right, let's take when he was standing next to Mike Myers in the Hurricane Katrina thing. It's like, George Bush does not like black people. That shit ain't no different than what he's doing now, but because it was for black people, they was like, oh yeah, Kanye, let's fucking do it, let's rock with him.
Right.
But now that they assume it's against black people, the fuck is the same Kanye? He's just saying different things, but it's the same man. It's the exact same dude. You know what I mean? But people are just like, oh, I don't like what he's saying now, so fuck him.
I'm rocking with you. But you make songs like Jesus Walks, and you make songs like you make songs that, like, the reason why a lot of people put him up there is because he made songs that were relatable to black people.
And it's crazy because like we all related to Jesus Walks.
Like the relationship or relativity to what he's saying now. And I'm gonna say this: since his mom passed, has been so much different than the relatability to. And I'm not saying that. I mean, once again, Jay-Z is not saying anything that's relatable, right? He's not saying anything like, I can't go out and buy a Basquiat and give it to my son and have my son hold it for 8 years, even though it's worth $2 million, and hopefully we're what. Like, I don't know. That's not relatable stuff, right? But you're also not speaking down to like, it's different for me. It's different for me to correct you in public than for me to have a conversation with you in private. If I have a conversation with you in private and I correct you in private, we may walk away from that conversation feeling like, you know what, we may have a disagreement, but I can't. We just gonna end it there. We just gonna have a disagreement. We can keep moving forward. If I come out after that conversation and I say, hey, man, I just had a conversation with my boy, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and this is what he said, and this is what I said, and I had to correct him on that, you're going to publicly respond.
Yep.
And you may not mess with me no more after that. And I think that's the second part of it. Is like, yo, these are private conversations. You're leaking, like, screenshots of private conversations.
So with that, and I feel like that ties back into what I said a minute ago with people saying one thing to him behind closed doors, and like you just said, and then going back to the media and saying other things. Like he said, John Legend saying in the media he's crazy for running for president, so was Big Sean and all these other people.
Yeah, but then he shouted John Legend out in the interview in the podcast.
But here's the things. When these people, when they're telling him, yo, Kanye, bro, like, you should do these things, and then he does them, and then they're like, yo, bro, and they're telling the media, like, I don't know why he's doing it, like, he didn't talk to any of us, so da-da-da-da.
Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry, he didn't shout him out.
Yeah, he dissed him bad. So he, when they're doing stuff like that, allegedly, when they're doing things like that, at that point, you gotta, like, what do they say? You gotta show the receipts. They say, oh, so you did it. So wait a minute. Wait, you don't know why I'm doing this? This is why I'm doing this, bro. What are you talking about?
But you don't. But you don't, because I know what it looks like. I know what it looks like when somebody challenges a Kanye West idea. You don't know the answer, Sway. You don't know the answer, Sway. You don't know the answer. You don't know the. So as opposed to me dealing with all of that because I've known him for 10 years, I'm just going to be like, yeah, you should do that.
But that's different. Yeah, but you know what the context, what I feel, you know what I feel the context differs is because Sway is not one of his close personal friends. Sway, so when he's arguing with Sway, so when he's arguing with Sway, he hasn't had a private conversation with Sway already about these things. You know what I'm saying? So this is the first conversation. So now they're like, oh, what the fuck? He's like, you don't got the answers. If he's having multiple conversations with people in private, there's no recordings going on. There's no reason for you. If you decide to get into a tirade, fine, get into a tirade, Kanye, whatever. That's fine. If me and Zeez are talking and I'm like, yo, Zeez, I think that's a stupid idea, and he gets all crazy, fine. There's no cameras around. You do no damage to my career nor yours. Have your fit. Let's have a shot and then whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's cool. But this is what people also don't realize, right? Like you said again, he changed after Donda died, right?
Yeah.
That's what you said.
I think.
No. Yeah, this is true. I believe it too.
No, I believe it too.
I believe it too.
Agree.
Right? VibeLord believes it. I believe it. You presumably believe it. So let's take everything Kanye has said about Donda, right? Let's take everything he said about Dr. West. He said this was his source of clarity. If you look at the documentary, it goes back to before Kanye was even signed to Rockefeller. It shows his intimate moments with his mom, him going to her with certain things and her checking him, her giving him perspective. He doesn't have that anymore. Remember earlier you said, oh, he needs a publicist or such. That was his publicist.
No. He does, but he does though. Like he does. He just rejects it.
No,
Like,
let me tell you why he feels like.
counsel.
Let me tell you why he feels like he doesn't, right? Because when your source of clarity, when your source of judgment, say your source of clarity is your pastor, right? Say you're a church person. Your source of clarity is your pastor. You know, you have a rough family, you can't really talk to anybody. Your friends and knuckleheads, they in the streets all the time, but you want to get on the right path. So your source of light is your pastor and shit, right? So, you know, go through childhood. This is who you come to when you get in trouble at school. You talk to him about it. You know, you're a teenager, and then, you know, 17, 18, he dies. And now you feel kind of lost. Like, you have nobody to talk to. Yeah, you have friends, but you've never been able to talk to your friends. You don't know how to talk to your friends. Yeah, you have family, but you've never been able to talk to them. You don't know how. The only person you've ever confided in, the only person you've ever told these things to, and we all have these people in life, is gone. So you kind of lose yourself. And we all know people who, when their parents have died or brothers died, they've kind of lost themselves. Whether it's for a little bit of time or a lot of time. You know what I mean?
Listen,
So when you spend 8 hours, when you spend 6 hours a day talking to somebody, right? He talked to his mother all day. It's rough. You gotta occupy that with something else.
Justo, you talking to somebody who was an only child who lost their mom at 14, and it was a single parent house. Bro, if anybody could have any idea of what that's gonna look like or feel like, I have an idea what that looks like and what that feels like. At some point, as a man, you have to start taking accountability for what your world looks like.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
And so what I'm hearing is that a lot of people are giving Kanye West, including Kanye West, levels of lack of accountability for his world looking the way that it does today.
Mm-hmm.
And him at the same time stating that slaves' worlds look that way because they chose for them to look that way. And there's all the accountability on them. And I can't vibe with both of them at the same time.
Nope, you're absolutely right. You can't. It's super hard.
And so, as an adult man in this portion of my life that I'm in right now at 36 years old, I'm going to take responsibility for my world being what it is. Because I've had to overcome like negative conversations or being a person that's always angry and not being able to articulate or not being able to properly communicate when I'm hurt or when I'm disappointed, and it's all coming out as like anger. Like, but that's with me not having nearly the amount of options and resources that Kanye West does.
Mm-hmm.
I could have been provided those particular resources and then being like, nah, I don't need that. I'm good. But then at the same time saying, I'm not good because so-and-so controls the media, and because da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and because Ralph Lauren won't print my clothes, and because this thing over here is preventing me to do anything. The other portion of that is that, unfortunately, when Kanye West starts talking about people he wants to be, it's never a black person. It's always Walt Disney. It's always some white guy, some rich white Elon,
Trump.
So even in that regard, it's like, at the same time, you're like, I don't even see a black person that I even want to be. Yeah. So what are you going to start doing? You're going to start doing things that you see successful white people doing. You're going to start looking and making sure that you can da-da-da-da this and get that done. And there's only one way to do it.
So do you think that Kanye losing? I didn't know you lost your mom so young, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all good. It's all good.
Do you think that so over time, when you have things or when you do things for a longer period of time and then it's taken away, it tends to not all the time, but it tends to be more impactful. Like a person who tries drugs for a while versus a long time user, it's harder for the long time user to get off of the drugs, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you didn't have the relationship with your mom that he did, but he lost his mom around the age that we are now.
Right.
He had literally a lifetime with her. So he experienced things with her and got the type of advice from her that unfortunately you weren't able to receive from your mom. So do you think that? So do you think that could? So I'm not like I said, I'm not trying to give the man any excuses, any scapegoats, anything like that. Like I said before, I do think he has some kind of like mental or neurological or emotional problem that he does need to get help with. But I think that ties into a lot of what's going on. So do you think that could feed into it? That fact that
I think that it definitely has something to do with it. I just think it's also been like coming up on 20 years.
This is also true.
Like yo, you and if it was crackhead Louis down the street who been on welfare for the last 20 years and still that way, I'm with you. 10,000%. Louis need all the bail.
I don't know how it feels. I don't know if you wake up every day and that pain is still the same like it happened yesterday. I don't know.
The slaves to me need all the bail. A billionaire after 20 years?
Yeah.
You talking like this? A billionaire after 20 years you're talking like this? This is what you saying? This is what you using your money to do? It's gonna cost you it's gonna cost you $250 million. And it needs to cost you $250 million every time you do this until you learn to stop doing it. And that's not controlled by Jewish people. This needs to cost him $250 million because George Floyd's family is impacted.
So all right, cool. If it costs him $250 million every time, if we take that into account, right? Let's say that happens. Do you or do you not think that there's something wrong with Kanye West?
I do think that there's something wrong.
Okay, so do you think that they should keep fining him $250 million, or should they be like, yo, bro, like, let's help this motherfucker. Let's forcibly commit him.
That's what they just try to do. They just try to take his interviews down.
But that's censorship. Censorship, like you said, he's a billionaire. At this point, he's buying social media platforms. You can only censor a person but so much. Because if he has a following, they're gonna follow him wherever he goes. He has 2,400 followers on Parler. Only 2,400. He bought the platform. That's it.
But
it's gonna grow tremendously.
But what I'm saying is this: if we're saying that they need to stop him from doing this thing that's costing him $250 million because he needs help, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we just agreed upon. The only way that somebody can do that is to censor him. That's the only way. He's going to go somewhere else where he's not censored and continue to do the thing. It's almost like a drug. It's like there's a drug act. Like, we can take the drugs away, but if you can figure out a way to get the drugs, you're going to continue to use them because you're an addict, right? So I can't prevent you from doing these things, but I can help you by saying, hey, you know what? We're going to pull your interviews down because you're negatively impacting people in a way that we don't think you're intending to. Like, this is affecting people in a way that, like, this is impacting your legacy.
So okay, so then let's take Kanye and let's take another thing, for example, right? Kanye, this is impacting his legacy. This is negatively impacting people. What he's saying, it's drudging up stuff from the past of George Floyd. What about the people who are protesting Netflix about the Dahmer series? The families that are saying like, yo, why y'all making this series? Like, and it's the top series watched on there. Netflix hasn't pulled it down. You know what I mean? Nobody's telling the families are protesting. The families like, this is bullshit. Mm-hmm. But there's no corporations like, hey, take that shit down, Netflix. They don't give a fuck. Why? Why do it to Kanye for George Floyd, but not do it to Netflix for the 17, 18 different families that they showed the person being murdered?
So once again, I can't watch stuff like that. I don't watch stuff like that. So,
but it's still there.
No, it is still there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I watched the first episode, but
I watched the whole thing.
I watched the first episode and like it was just, I don't know.
I watched the whole thing. I mean, I was alive when it happened. We were all alive when it happened, so we know what happened. I didn't see, the gruesome. I mean, obviously it was gruesome, but it was like we saw the live court coverage.
I don't need to see any of it.
You know?
I mean, only person to respond to the Netflix statement. I can't really speak to that. Netflix also doesn't have like an ongoing thing where this is the issue. Like, oh, Netflix just dropped another thing. Netflix dropped another thing.
But what makes it what does make it an ongoing thing is they didn't.
Let me finish.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Go
ahead.
Finish. The only other person that I could say this to would be a Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan just had all his podcast episodes pulled down where he used the N-word. All of them just taken down. Spotify, you say, you know what? As opposed to dealing with that and just leaving it out there, you know what we're going to do? We're going to censor you, Joe. And we're going to pull all of those episodes down. Matter of fact, Joe, even if we'll even paint this better, we'll say that you decided to do this. Mm-hmm. So Joe Rogan decided that you're going to pull all the episodes down that mention this word, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Cool, move on. Now, if he gets on another episode and says it again, we can knock his head off.
Here's the thing, though. But here's the thing. Whether it's new, fresh episodes or the same episode just being watched over and over, it's a series. It's there. It's not like you watch it one time and it disappears out of your list. You can watch it over and over. So what I'm saying about that is...
You're talking about the Dahmer thing?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, the Dahmer thing. So what I'm saying about that is, even if they're can't take all of Kanye's things down or take Joe Rogan's N-word, his nigga comments down and shit, the Dahmer thing is still there for people to watch. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you on the Dahmer thing, but
it's like a textbook.
But what I'm alluding to is that this is not only happening to Kanye West or black people.
Mm-hmm.
Like this censorship thing from networks is not just happening to black people or Kanye West. This is not something that's new. This is not something that is unique. This is not something that...
That's right. You're right.
Joe Rogan did not just have to deal with like 6 months ago to a year. Like, so let's not, once again, make it seem like Kanye West is a victim here under the circumstances that Jewish people are controlling the media, because I know a white guy that was just impacted by this because it impacted black people. The N-word doesn't negatively impact any other culture.
So here's where we go back to tiers of privilege, right? So Joe Rogan had to take all his nigga comments down, all the episodes where he used that word.
He didn't have to. He chose to.
I'm using air quotes.
Wait. That's fine. And he chose not to do it again. So he chose to take them down, and he chose not to do it again. Kanye West keeps choosing to do this.
Okay.
He keeps choosing to do this.
This is true. He does keep choosing to do this. He does.
So slavery is a choice?
He does keep reiterating his point.
If slavery is a choice, Kanye, this is a choice, Kanye.
Man, stop doing
this.
This is true. So you gotta get it together. Like, you can't play. The problem is he's playing multiple sides of the spectrum. You know what I mean? Like, I get it. You can be on, 1, 2. You can have beliefs. You can have different beliefs. But when so many of your beliefs contradict other beliefs that you say you have, it's like, what do you really believe in, right?
It's like he's the only victim of circumstance. That is what I feel like. Like in his world, he's the main character, and everybody else has the choice to make things. And in his world, he's just a victim.
Also goes back to what you were saying earlier when you were like that. Do we believe that people, or one of you said, I don't want to say it was you, maybe it might have been Vibe. One of you said that, do we believe that certain people like have a certain I don't want to say neglect, like they're ignorant to certain shit. Like a billionaire doesn't know how much the price of a gallon of milk is, right?
Yeah, that was me.
So Kanye, okay, Vibe, like I said, I didn't want to screw it up, my bad. So with that being said, Kanye is at a point where like he's verified on everything. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if he follows anybody on anything. He might follow like Elon and a couple other like, top tier people, upper echelons and shit. But I don't think Kanye realizes, I think my tie into what I said about delusions of grandeur. He doesn't realize that like regular people like us get put in Facebook jail too.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, like you're not the only person.
Yeah, like we get. I for some reason to this day I don't know what it was. I never did no crazy shit, nothing. Snapchat banned me. I cannot get a Snapchat account. I don't know why. I don't know. If I use my phone number or my email address, it says you cannot get it, and they send me an email, bro, like saying I violated some privacy, some terms and conditions, but they won't even tell me what the fuck I violated or show me the post.
You was sending too many nudes, man.
I didn't,
like, we gotta stop this.
Even if I was, that's private, bitch. I didn't post that. Fuck you, Snapchat. You ain't sponsoring this fucking podcast anyway.
Our service.
Don't fucking ban me and I ain't even do nothing. Everybody smokes weed on Snapchat.
Bro?
I was probably smoking some weed or something. I don't know. Everybody does that, bro.
I know mad people on Snapchat that be showing their bags.
Bro, I know mad people on Snapchat that be showing their vag and shit, bro. Fuck a bag.
That's
like, come on, bro. And they gonna censor me?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest though. Like,
Justo?
Snapchat died for me like mad long ago. Anyway, I don't even
died for me too when they banned my ass. Can't even get on that bitch. I don't even know what's happening.
Rihanna killed Snapchat. Don't worry about it, man.
All right, cool. All right, fuck you, Snapchat. Anyway, so moving along. Yeah, man. I feel like Kanye may need some help. I think we can all agree Kanye may need some help, whether it be emotionally, psychologically. He needs someone in his corner that he can trust, that's going to give him advice that he can heed, and not just have some yes men around. He needs really needs a stable support system.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, obviously the other stuff that's been going on, the Pete Davidson stuff, like, I feel like there's just a lot going on. I feel like at some point, like, you just gonna have to just go into your cave, deal with some of this stuff privately, and then give us enough time to just forget about all this stuff.
Bro, and I feel like, honestly, he would be all right, bro, if he just, like, really had, like, some people around him that, just like, yo, bro, like, he just needs to trust people, man. Everybody needs somebody.
And I think people need to get off the internet for a little bit too. I think that's the major thing, bro. Like a Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson situation probably would not have happened without social media, bro.
Oh, a lot of situations in life, a lot of killings have happened. P&B Rock would still be here without social media.
People need to just get off the internet for a little bit.
But it's Pete Davidson tattooing, it ain't like tattoo his child's initials on his body or something like that. It's just a lot of just extra stuff, bro.
Yeah, but it's all for social media.
But I'm not gonna lie, I prefer their dumb shit. Like if rich people are gonna beef, if you fucking millionaires and billionaires are gonna beef, if you're gonna have problems with each other, I'd much rather you do this than you motherfuckers shooting each other in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Catching the motherfucker coming out the studio or in a restaurant. Don't kill each other. If you gonna have problems, entertain me with your problems. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do the shit, do it for me. You know what I mean? Don't kill each other.
You know what's also crazy about that? You realize that no amount of money in the world changes the problems that you have. It's like, Kanye West is still dealing with
You just get different problems, bro.
You're dealing with relationship stuff. Like,
Son,
bro,
you get crazy problems. I'm not gonna lie though, I would love those problems. If I was Pete Davidson, I would love it. A billionaire dissing me on songs that millions of people are gonna listen to about this badass bitch I'm fucking. Give me those problems. I mean, I'm in a nice, healthy relationship. I love you, babe, but give me those fucking problems, bro. Please. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
that's funny.
What do you mean?
Yeah, man. It's just but I think that, and
that's a fact, bro.
that is a bar. But yeah, man, Kanye. I pray for Kanye, man. I really want to see him recover. I think everybody wants to see him healthy.
Yes.
I think for sure.
Yes, because we all love Kanye.
And
even the people that hate him love him. That's how they know.
Right.
And I think that even like in the statements that I made earlier, I just can't. I don't have an issue fundamentally with Kanye. I just can't listen to something that he says like that and then like want to go run to the Kanye album. I'm not saying that I say it this way. I don't prefer to eat pork. But if I come over your house and you got pork on the table, I'll eat it. So somebody's like playing Kanye West, I'm not gonna be like, ew, turn that off, or oh God, I can't believe you're listening to him, or something like that. I may even go to some Kanye tracks, but primarily it's more difficult for me to listen to him.
I mean, I feel you, and that's like a lot of people. A lot of instances. A lot of people don't listen to R. Kelly anymore. A lot of people don't listen to a lot of things or watch a lot of.
Because I damn sure I don't listen to R. Kelly.
Yeah, like some people don't. Some people don't even like certain sports teams because their favorite player did some wild shit on that team.
But you know what's crazy for me though, and this is just all like allegations. Nobody knows how true this is and whatnot. But Trey Songz for me, I listen to a lot of Trey. I listen to a lot of Trey Songz.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on with him in the media.
Yeah,
Hold on, wait, y'all put me on. See, this. I live in the small.
Oh, you haven't heard? I mean, there's a lot of women that say Trey Songz.
Trey Young or Trey Songz.
Yeah, there's a lot of women out there that say. I mean, this is a legend. I don't know any of these females, but there's a lot of them that's saying Trey Songz. You know, he.
I hope it's a legend.
He forced himself upon them, or
I really do hope
there
it's
were
a legend.
drugs involved. Those excessive amounts. They just weren't in the proper state to give him consent and different things like that. You know what I mean? There's also allegations that he's he likes to play for a couple teams. You know what I mean? He's a multi-sport guy. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I don't personally know the guy. You know what I mean? I know a couple people in the industry. I know some people who have done some things with him. Not things like that. But I know they've done some songs and such with him. But you know, we don't talk about those things.
He was topless in a hotel with like 6ix9ine a couple years back or something like that.
There's been a lot of funny things with a lot of people.
Clip, bro, I was like, why is 6ix9ine?
I don't know, man.
With Trey Young or Trey Songz. I keep saying Trey Young. Atlanta. Shout out to Trey Young.
Don't let Trey Young. Don't let Trey
I
Young.
was about to say.
Trey Young. Listen, I got the Hawks on today.
Yeah, the MLK limited edition.
It's open at night. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Trey Young. My bad, Trey Young. Trey Songz and 6ix9ine was in a hotel room or something.
Yeah, I seen that video, bro. I was like, nah.
I didn't see that one. I was big anti 6ix9ine.
But it's just so crazy because I conceived 2 of my kids to Trey Songz albums, bro. Both of them, bro. I had both them shits playing, bro.
That's funny.
So like for me, like it's like damn Trigger, not you, bro. Like
that's funny. I'm not gonna ask which song it was, but
nah, that Anticipation 2 mixtape, bro, on that Piff.
Shout out to thatpiff.com. Go, hey. This is about 4 mixtapes I got on that bitch, boy.
Yeah,
go run them shits up. You know what I'm saying?
Not the Dat Piff.
Shameless plug.
Drop.
Shameless fucking plug, bro.
I'm just saying, bro. That Anticipation 2 used to go up back in the day for me, bro. That and the Ready album.
Yeah, man. Those are some good things.
I liked his rap mixtape.
Oh, I liked when he was doing rap. I liked when he was rapping. Chris Brown was rapping. Those are some good things, man. When them R&B started, you know, that was a good time in hip hop, man.
Word.
It was a good time in hip hop, man. Virginia was doing their thing back then. I ain't gonna hold
I guess.
I mean, they still got Pusha T.
The closest got them is Tory Lanez now.
Tory Lanez.
That's the closest we got now. Is Tory Lanez singing.
Tory Lanez. He got his own fucking controversy.
Word. His last album was fire though. I listened to it. His last album was fire.
No. He makes great music.
Yeah, his music is like
he makes great music.
He does.
And then he rap. What did he rap against like Joyner Lucas or something? Like he kind of got.
I don't really follow Tory. I listen to his music. I like his music. I like Tory's music, but I'm not gonna lie. I've seen some of his interviews, and I personally I don't really vibe with like the vibe I get from his interviews. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't. I don't follow him on social media. I don't like because I don't want to be put off by him. Because a couple of things that I've seen, it didn't like. Make me like him very much.
Crazy? Like
so
that,
I don't want to be put off by him, so I choose not to follow certain shit.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Like for me, like it's crazy because I'm not on the internet that much no more. Like I don't watch what's going. Like I post a lot on the internet, but I don't watch what's on the internet no more. So like I don't really be knowing what's going on behind the scenes with people like that. I just see that they dropped the album and it's like, oh, like I'm gonna go check that out, go listen to it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because like the fan in me is like. I
choose not to see it.
Like I don't want to lose interest in Tory Lanez, so I'm like, nah, like let me not go down that rabbit hole. But the artist in me, you know what I mean, is like, fuck him. Like he's a human person too. Like we all fuck up. You know what I mean? We all make mistakes. I make mistakes. So I want people not to listen to my music because of my mistakes. You know what I'm saying? No, I don't. But the difference is I put my mistakes in my music. You know what I mean? Very, very introspective stuff. So, you know, that's where I'm at with that. But I mean, yeah, that's there's a lot going on these days, guys. There's a lot going on these days. You know? Oh man, is there anything you guys want to discuss before we wrap this up here?
Nah, man, I'm good, bro. This is a dope conversation.
Yeah, man, I'm glad. How about you, Jared?
Nah, man, I'm good, man.
You know what? No. I feel we got a music collective. We got a music collective podcast showcase coming up soon.
Yeah, so if you want to talk about that, we can. So, Station Head, I'm going live tonight. I think I might be battling somebody. In an R&B playlist.
That's tonight?
Yeah, it might be. We'll see.
Okay, so by the time this airs, this will have been already the battle have already aired. But you guys can go back and watch it.
But you can go back and watch it, and I'll have a playlist up. And then Friday I'll probably go live, and then Saturday we'll probably have a showcase.
Nice.
Oh, I definitely drug it, bro. October 28th, Shoot My Shot dropping.
Yeah, new song.
Let's talk about it.
It's new music by VibeLord, produced by who?
Ooh.
Produced by who?
By who? Jarad?
By my man Jarad Wright.
My man,
see, this is beautiful things, man. We do things together. We vibe together. We it's all love, yo. When you do things in house with people that you love and people that you care about, it's never work, man. It's always fun. Even when you don't want to do it, you still want to do it. You know what I mean? It's I'm glad you guys showed up. I'm glad you guys took time out of your busy schedules. You know what I mean? We're gonna be linking up soon down in Atlanta.
Word.
You know, we're gonna be linking up soon down in Atlanta.
Let's make some big things happen.
Me and you guys don't know. Jarad is via FaceTime right now. VibeLord in studio, Jarad via FaceTime. So we're gonna be going down and check on Jarad in a few weeks down in Atlanta. Who knows, man? Maybe we'll have an episode, on location.
Let's get it,
man. Yeah, make sure y'all bring y'all audio interfaces. Cause I just got a solo.
Well, we good, man. We gonna have everything we need.
We're gonna bring what we need, bro.
And we gonna make it happen, man. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. Appreciate you. You know what I mean? This is a place where we just talk about shit. You know what I mean? Nobody's favorite podcast, Justo. We out.